Everyone, welcome to another edition of the Golfmonger Show. I'm your host, Brian Steff, and I am the Golfmonger. Lots going on in the world of golf. Not really. I say that every week, but there's really nothing going on. Got the Zurich Classic this week, and that's about it. I get in such a habit of saying that because we have for so long, and nothing. Like no stories to talk about, no... it's the Zurich Classic. It's a great tournament. TPC Louisiana is a great track. Not a big draw this week for big names because the WGC match play is in San Francisco next week. So all that field is set. All the big boys will be playing out there. There's a handful of them this week playing in Louisiana. You got Dustin Johnson, Justin Rose, Ricky Fowler, defending FedEx Cup champ Billy Horschel in the field, but it's not a star-studded event. And usually a couple of weeks after a major, it's not. A lot of the big dogs take some time. They don't play leading up to. They don't play after. So, the fields get a little different. The one exciting thing about this week is a little side note, and we talked about this Tuesday on when I sat in with Jeff Deal on Fantasy Golf TV with Jeff Deal, that 7 of the last 10 winners at the Zurich Classic down there at the TPC Louisiana were first-time winners.
Yeah, I thought that was an interesting stat.
Now, let me ask you this. Does that have to do with the field?
Because of what you just said
prior? What I just said prior, that there's not a lot of...
I think that probably does, man.
I'm sure that it does. And, and it's interesting because it's not an easy track. 7,500 yards, par 72, a lot of premium on your approach shots because the greens are tricky there. But yet, the last couple of years, the scores have been... 2 years ago when Billy Horschel won, I think he shot 20 under. There's going to see some scores. If you got there today, Boo Weekley is leading the way at 8 under after, he's finished with his round today already. He shot 8 under today. Daniel Berger.
So where do you think Weekley will be?
I think he's going to finish at 9. I said that to Big Dave, our golf packager here before he came on the air. When he belted out from his little hedgehog cubicle back there, he said, Boo Weekley's already at 8 under. And I said, I bet he finishes at 9 for the week. In all seriousness, probably not. Probably a little higher than that. But, anybody thinks that he's going to run away and win this thing. But Daniel Berger, he's a guy that I actually talked about on my podcast on my DYST Now site on our Sportsmonger Radio Network, that he's the kind of guy that could get his first win in an event. He's been playing well. He's a young guy out of Florida State. You got David Hearn, Derek Erst. We talked about this with Jeff. This is definitely the type of tournament that a young guy could get his first W, and it'll be fun to see. That's what makes a tournament like this exciting. And again, something Jeff, you and I have talked about. Jeff Gilderart, the man behind the glass, our producer, chiming in early with me today. Always glad that he's here, because if he wasn't, I wouldn't be. The depth of the PGA Tour and how any guy in the field any week could win. And this is one of those weeks. I think it's a total. If you play fantasy golf, and like we all do here, I love my team right now. Love it. I might hate it by the end of the day today.
That's the way it goes, man.
No, most weeks I'm feeling pretty good. I don't have a problem with what's happened. I like the, where I'm headed, because I feel like I got a pretty decent grasp. But this is just one of those tournaments, one of those weeks. I really have no idea. I had no idea. And right now, the only of my starters, which are Harris English, Billy Horschel, Justin Rose, and Brendan DeYoung. Only Justin Rose is on the course right now, and he's 3 under through 17. So, that's a good start. The leaders are at 8 and 6, but...
I got 3 of them that are on the course. I got Justin Rose on my team, and also Justin Thomas.
You know what? I almost picked him.
Yep. And I got Tony Finau's even.
We talked about him on Tuesday. By the way, Dustin Johnson through 16 holes is 4 under, and he's on my bench. Thank you very much. And that's another thing we talked about on Tuesday. So maybe I let Jeff talk me into that, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
About pace of play. Because he's playing with Ben Crane and Jason Day. And Ben Crane is about as deliberate a golfer as you're ever going to find on the planet. And Jason Day's not a quick golfer either.
Yeah.
And Dustin is a pull the stick, step up to the ball, and hit it kind of guy.
Yeah. How does that affect your game?
Well, apparently not so bad today because he's now 5 under through 17, and I'm kicking myself in the ass right now for not putting him in the lineup. But guess who's playing tomorrow?
Who? I got a guy on the bench who's 3 under right now too that you probably wouldn't have picked. Or didn't think about picking.
Who's that?
Steve Stricker.
I did. Actually, I went back and forth, and instead of him, I went with the defending champ.
Oh, did you?
So you'll know.
I got soon you'll know starting.
See, I went with Harris English.
Yeah, I got soon you'll know starting and Stricker on the bench.
Well, see, Noah hasn't even teed off, so neither.
Soon you'll know if he's
soon you'll know. Yeah. Well, I thought about Stricker. He's only played a couple of times this year, and part of that is he's having a back problem. And then they're talking about rain coming through this week. So I'm like, well, he's 46 years old. His back's been bothering him, and it's going to be raining potentially through the week. I don't think I want to play that guy. And that was why I didn't. That's why I went with the South Korean the defending champ. But what a fun week to watch golf, because you're going to see a lot of people that you haven't seen in a couple of weeks.
Yeah,
because they've been showing. The Masters, obviously, all the big dogs are always there, and that's who they show. Even the couple of weeks before were a lot of names because who was winning and leading in Texas. And hell, even last week at Harbortown. Furyk wins. Other guys in contention. Jordan Spieth, amazingly, bounced back from winning the Masters. First day showed a hangover. He shot 3 over the first day to turn around and shoot 8 under the next day.
Yeah, 8 or 9 under.
Yeah, and just so you're going to see guys on TV for the next 4 days. It's a lot of golf fans might not really know who they are, but they're going to want to pay attention.
Yep. Because
you're going to see Daniel Berger for a long time, and Dustin's up there, of course, and you got guys like Morgan Hoffman, Alex Chaka, Justin Rose, Brian Stewart, Justin Thomas, your boy. He's 3 under so far through 15. Blaine Barber's 3 under through 14. He's a name I mentioned on Tuesday that didn't have the guts to pull the trigger on picking him. So it's that time. It's that type of tournament. But speaking of Furyk, I want to go back on that here for a minute. He is my partner. Sportsmonger Marketing and Media on dystnow.com and the soon to launch thegolfmonger.com, by the way. I always say golf director because I'm used to saying that here, but soon to launch my own website, which scares the crap out of me, by the way. All golf, all the time, but it's all opinion. I'm not going to do a whole lot of tour reporting. It's going to be all...
That's what you're a great commentator.
That's going to be all my opinion.
Because
there's going to be a whole hell of a lot of facts.
Because you've got an opinion.
I do. Well, listen, my mom taught me something when I was a kid. She used to tell me this in school when I was about junior high. And you start giving reports and having to speak more in class instead of, elementary school where it's just A or B or 2 plus 2.
Yeah.
She always used to tell me, if you can't dazzle them with brilliance, baffle them with bullshit.
Yeah. Well,
I'm 41. And Mom, of all the things that you ever taught me in my life, that's one I really hung on to.
You're bedazzled.
I'm a dazzler. I'm a dazzler. So if you can't baffle them, a baffle. That's because if you can't dazzle them with brilliance, baffle them.
Baffle them. So
I'm a baffler.
Yeah.
At the highest level. Yeah. So there's not going to be a whole lot of fact involved. It's going to be a lot of my opinion and other people too. I've got some friends that are joining me, and you're going to see some stuff here from. You're going to see and hear some stuff from the golfdirector.com on there as well and everything. But Jason, my partner in that, who I was hoping to come on the show today, and he was scheduled to be here. And then that's what I was talking to when I walked in the door, and he was apologizing not be here. I mean, call in from Pittsburgh. He got at his job. He works for the Washington Wild Things independent league, minor league baseball team up there. He's the managing director of sales, and he got called off the road to come back into a meeting to take care of something. And I'm like, I don't know what that means, but it doesn't sound good. And he said, pretty sure it's not. I mean, not for him.
Yeah.
Just, so, because Jim Furyk's his guy. Western Pennsylvania guy. He loves Jim Furyk. And he gets so mad at me, hearing me for the last 2 years, just bust Jim Furyk's balls constantly about how he choke master it when he holds a 54-hole lead.
Yep.
You know, it's 5 years since he's won, first of all. And in that 5 years, it's what, a dozen or so times that he's held the 54-hole lead and gagged it up.
So I probably could have taken some money off you if I just thought about making a.
He didn't hold a 54-hole lead. If you
that's
made
right,
it,
didn't.
he didn't. No,
Yeah.
he did what he does a lot on Sunday when he's behind. He went out and shot 8 under Sunday.
Yep.
And usually what that does, he gets a lot of backdoor top 10s that way, and top 5s.
Yep.
You know, he's 6-7 strokes off the lead, goes out and shoots 8 under an hour and a half before the leaders. You know, leaders are making the turn or on the 12th hole, and he's tapping in for birdie on 18 with the clubhouse lead.
Yep.
Well, then the leaders still have par 5s to play and birdie holes, and he ends up losing by 2 or 3 or 1, and he gets a top 5, a top 10. The difference this week, it looked like it was going to be a instant replay of what he's been doing, either gagging up a 54-hole lead or making a Sunday charge when he's 5-6 strokes back, flashing his name on the top of the leaderboard very briefly, and then the leaders, as they come down the stretch, pass him. The only difference this week was the leaders didn't pass me, ended up tied. And birdied both playoff holes to win. And you could tell it had been 5 years since he won. Did you see his
He was
celebration?
excited, man. I was glad to see that.
Normally, veteran guys, when they win the RBC, don't get that excited.
Yeah, but if you're Jim Furyk at this time, there's that little guy in your mind saying,
How many more W's do you have left? Yeah. You know, and you'd hate to think that, but let's face it, it's a reality. At his age,
yeah.
Actually, how many more regular Tour W's do you have left? You know, he's the kind of guy that's going to continue to play when he turns 50.
Yeah.
And he's going to be the next guy to get to the
he's going to
Champions
be
Tour
awesome.
and tear it.
He's going to be an awesome champion.
I mean, think about it. When Nicklaus first went to when it was a senior tour back then, he tore it up.
Yep.
And then Watson did the same thing when he got there. And then Hale Irwin did it.
Yep.
Tom Lehman did it.
Yep.
You know, right now Bernard Longer's doing it, and Colin Montgomery's starting to do it. You know the next guy in line. Oh, Freddie Couples.
Yeah,
Freddie's tears it up. You know who's next?
Yep.
Well, Davis Love's right in there. Jim Furyk.
Can you imagine when Nicholson gets there?
How about those? But how about those 2 or 3 guys right there in the next 3-4 years?
Yep.
They're all going to turn 50.
Yep.
You know, Vijay Singh's still not playing on it. He's 50. He's still playing regular tour events. But when they and just the day they turn 50, some of these guys aren't going to go. I promise you, when Phil Mickelson, the day he turns 50, he's not going to play Champions event.
Yeah.
Because I'll guarantee he's probably still feels he's competitive. He's going to stay on the regular tour. But the second those guys that choose to make that decision to go, Furyk's one of those guys going to keep playing. He'll play on the Champions Tour.
Yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me if Mickelson never plays an event on the Champions Tour. He'll play till he doesn't feel he can play on the regular tour anymore, and he'll walk away. It wouldn't surprise me. That wouldn't surprise me in the least. Do I think that's going to happen? I don't know, maybe. But I just got that feeling he's just going to. I don't know, him and Tiger Woods, but a lot of these young guys, they may never play on the Champions Tour. The success so early.
Yeah, I was going to say there's a lot to be said about the amount of money, the amount of success they have at such a young age.
Think about, when Nicklaus and Trevino and those guys were still going on it, they were still needed to make money.
Yeah.
Well, they didn't need to. Don't get me wrong. They were still making money, but, there were still purses to be won and stuff. But think about it. Phil Mickelson, by the time he gets to 50, how many hundreds of millions of dollars has he earned in his life?
Oh, yeah.
Does he need to continue to play competitive golf? Does he need to get on another tour? Now, don't get me wrong. You better believe me. The powers that be and the stuff in the suits will be begging those guys to play, at least in some of the events. The ones they're going to plan on putting on TV, that's for sure, to draw fans. But Furyk, it was good to see him win. I don't dislike him. I was just busting on him for, gagging up 54-hole leads all the time. So many in a row, which is shocking for a player at his level. Start to make you wonder if a guy at his, with his age, he does not hold on to the lead anymore. The shift in the youngsters and whatnot and everything that were coming through. I don't know. It was good to see. For Jason's sake, for my buddy, he was pretty happy. He was texting me all excited, and I said, "Well, it's about damn time you won something." But he gets mad at me. I can't tell you what he said back, by the way. So listen, we got some news slid across here on the desk, but I'm going to tease everybody a little bit. We're not going to talk about that right now. Some big news going on here in Myrtle Beach. For all you people that like to come here, if you're listening locally, you probably already heard. But if you're from the folks that love to come here on golf vacations packages or just play a little golf when you come here on vacation with your family, there was a major shakeup in the management of some pretty darn good golf courses here in the area that changed hands here just this week.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tease everybody a little bit because we're not going to talk about it now. We're going to do a special edition show here and bring that up shortly because I want to read on this a little more before we talk about it. But the one thing, another topic that's great this week to see a guy back out on playing in an event is you may or may not have heard this, Jeff. I know you're a busy man, but Mark Leishman, Australian, his wife recently survived a toxic shock syndrome.
Yeah.
And I didn't even really know what that was really until I read this article, and read about this. But he it's like you're suffocating. It's like you're going into. I don't even know how don't even quite know how to describe it on the air, but feel like you can't breathe. It's like she had to be put on a ventilator. It's a certain bacterial. It's only certain bacterial infections, and it's like extremely rare. It's an acute respiratory distress syndrome, and it comes from fluids building up in like little sacs, like little baggies in your lungs, and they start to fill up so much that it takes up all the space in your lungs where the oxygen would flow through. And it's really, really, really rare. But Leishman's in the field this week, back on the course. His wife has got past that. She's made it. It's going good. So good luck to him. Obviously, that puts him high on the list of people you root for this week, hoping that he plays well. So good to see. Glad that she's good, and prayers and that go out to the family. The Leishmans as she recovers from this crazy rare illness. So let me ask you this: we talk a lot about the field and people who you would pick, who you think would win, who would if I gave you one, knowing what you know now, and who you picked for your fantasy team, your one long shot guy, Jeff, that you had to hang your hat on.
A long shot guy?
Your one long shot guy you had to hang your hat on for this week.
A long shot guy that I had to hang my hat on. Ricky Fowler.
You consider him a long shot guy this week?
Yeah.
He hasn't done much yet this year. Yeah. You know what? The funny thing is, neither has Billy Horschel.
Yeah, I know. But
as you say that.
But he didn't do a lot early last year either.
No. But he's won this tournament before. In fact, this tournament was his first win. So, another thing about this week's event, we're talking about the WGC next week. A few thoughts on the upcoming schedule before we get out of here. Chance to earn points for the Players' Championship is like pretty much done. And that's a big event. So I think it's kind of, at this point, it's kind of like the Masters where you can, some of the winners can get in. This is like the last week, so there's guys gunning for opportunities to get into the field, and that's something that's exciting because the Players is coming up in just a couple short weeks, right? Looking at the schedule here real quick. Yeah, 2 weeks. 2 weeks. By the way, I'm going to go right now and say that I'll take anybody's money that wants to bet me that Martin Kaymer will not repeat as winner. Anybody that wants to get in on that. Speaking of money, have you seen Busaroni since he owes me money from the Masters there, Mr. Gilder?
Supposed to see him tomorrow, but no, I haven't.
He hasn't been around since he lost money to all of us at the Masters betting Tiger against Phil. But the Players, we start looking ahead to that, obviously, next week with the with the match play championship. We'll get into that, but also take a look ahead to the players. Gosh, you know what the field's going to be. It's just star-studded. It's anybody. It's like a major. There's certain guys that play well there, certain guys that don't. And depending on what he does this week, I said the players I'm leaning towards. I really expect Rory to play well. I mean, especially once he showed after the first. I mean, what he showed on the weekend at Augusta. I would expect Dustin to play well. Jason Day. I think it might be one of those three guys that wins it this year. I mean, I'm a little too far ahead to start giving predictions, but I think I'm leaning in that direction. I'm certain I haven't seen anything out of Martin Connor the way he's played this year that would make me say, oh, yeah, he's got a shot to defend his title. In fact, the way he's been playing, once beyond Thursday, because they'll show him a lot because he's a defending champ, I don't see much reason that we're going to even see or hear much from him the way he's been playing. I don't know about you, but... And then we get one close to home. Wells Fargo up at Quail Hollow in Charlotte's in May, right after the players. That's a fun one. Maybe we should run up there.
You took the words right out of my mouth.
Should we go there?
Let's see if we can get press credentials.
Oh, I'm playing in a tournament here that weekend. I could go Sunday.
What tournament is here that weekend?
The Caravel Cup. It's a big charity event put on by the Caravel Resort.
Oh, okay.
It's a 2-day, 2-man event. It's hard for me to pass up. My company, we're a corporate sponsor.
Yep.
So I play in it. But yeah, I could go up either Thursday or Sunday if
Sunday might be a possibility.
Sunday might be good. Yeah. Go check out the final day. JB Holmes, the defending champ there. Yeah. Let's see what we can do there. So, all right, we're gonna cut this off. We're gonna cut this short because we're gonna come back a little bit later today. We're gonna do a special short version of the Golfmonger Show, a special edition to talk about this pretty big news we got here on the desk for major changeover in management of some pretty fantastic golf courses here in the Myrtle Beach area. What do you say, Jeff?
Let's do it.
Let's do that. Hey, listen, today's show, Jeff, thanks as always for pushing the buttons, getting me on the air, because if you're not there, I'm not here. TGD Radio and TV are produced and broadcast by the Zeus Radio Network for thegolfdirector.com. When you're on the Golf Director, be sure to check out our featured golf course pages. You can find out up-to-date information about course condition specials and much more. But main thing, don't read all that. Just go straight to the source. Go to #JustCallDave, 844-464-6531, or you can hit the little chat thing on the webpage and chat with him if you don't have time to call. If he's logged in, he'll talk to you. All the TGD programming is archived for listening and viewing on demand. To catch up on a show you might have missed, click on the TGD Radio and TGD TV tabs. Go into the menu to thegolfdirector.com. They're right there. Click on them, get you right to the source. We're now in 1 billion devices. That's 1 billion with a B. iTunes, Audio Realm, TuneIn, YouTube, Ustream, Roku, Blueberry, and the fantastic Myrtle Beach Golf app. This has been the Golfmonger Show. I'm your host, Brian Steffen. I am the Golfmonger. Jeff, thanks for pushing the buttons, keep me on here. Stay tuned. There's more Golf Director news and information coming up.
All right, clear. I got about 3 minutes, and I'll reset it for the next show.
Okay, cool.
All right. What's up, Bobo?
How you doing?
Good. You?